Hi, it's Melanie, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about the books that I read in 2020. So, in no particular order, I'm going to start with each of the books that I read in 2020. Now, I here have a copy of 4 of the books that I read in 2020, but I have more books, and I don't have the copy of them on hand, but I will post a picture so you guys can see what books I'm talking about and how cover looks like. So the first book in no particular order that I'm going to talk to you about is The Prophet. Now this book, holy guacamole, I loved it. This book is a 5 stars for me because I enjoyed it so much, the learning in this book and all the information that you can get out of it. This book, I originally got it from my Spanish teacher when I was in high school, and I did not read it right away, and I waited all the way into 2020 to actually decide to sit down and read it, because most of the time I read fantasy books and all the other type of stories that are about magic and all of that, but I decided to sit down and read this book that is so good. So I will say this is a book that I thought that I wouldn't enjoy it. I ended up being wrong. Now let's get into the story. Spoil free, let's talk about this book. So this book is pretty much about many different topics that are important, such as love, happiness, family, parenting. Every single one of the topics that are in this book, you really get something out of it. And I feel like you can start reading this book and you immediately will want to reread it again. And it's exactly what happened to me. Now, this is a book that I definitely gave it 5 stars because I got so much out of it, and I will continue getting stuff out of it. Like, I just feel that the information in this book is so juicy, so good. I just enjoyed it so much. Also, something that I really enjoyed about this book is the fact that it's not really a complete story of a character all the way through, but you do follow a character and the things that he goes through, and he talks about his experience to the rest of the people in the story, and you can still connect to a character that you would like to be a friend with. And this is something that I really enjoyed it of this book. So I definitely give it a 5 stars to The Prophet, and I really recommend it. Honestly, it's a really good book to read. The next book that I'm going to talk to you guys about is Algunos, muchachos, or in a translation in English is Some Boys. This book, I read it in Spanish because I can actually read in English and Spanish. I speak both languages, and also I'm starting to read in Portuguese, but that's gonna be information for the next video that I'll be posting pretty much soon, hopefully. But let's talk about this book. Now, this is the first I did not like book of 2020, and the reason is because I really did not feel 100% connected to the characters in the stories in this book. Now, to talk to a little bit about this book, spoiler free, this book is a collection of short stories, and it has different stories on each section of the book. Now, out of all the stories in this book, I only liked one, and it's the only the reason why I gave it 2 stars. And yes, I don't want to be rude. Everybody has their own taste, and the writers are really good in what they do and their genre. I'm not really putting out there anybody, but I really did not enjoy it. The fact that I was not able to really find any structure to the main story in this book, and at the end when I finished it, I was like, okay, but what was it about? And it's something that I personally did not really enjoy it as much as I really wanted to, because pros about this book, I enjoyed the cover. I like that it's simple and it's kind of mysterious, and it kind of draws you into like, what is this book really about? It has an interesting topic, and then it kind of like, okay. but still, it was interesting to enjoy one of the stories and the character in this story. And he's basically a, how do I say this without spoiling anything? This is basically a collection of stories. In one of the stories, the character, he is a man who pretty much find himself or his true self after a certain event, and it kind of just takes it from there. And I liked it about the stories that you kind of can relate to a certain point in your life where you are just finally find yourself with a mirror and be like, this is who I am, and this is who I should always present to the society or to the world or whatever like that. So this is something that I really enjoyed it in this book. That's why I give it a 2 star. The rest is mostly because I didn't really like the structure of the writing, because I am not a big fan of stories that are symbolism based or only talks about stuff that you really need to think hard into, like, what does this mean, because for you it doesn't really make sense, but then the author wants to show you something using an example, so you really are like, but really, what are you trying to tell me? So this is the main reason why I really enjoyed this book. But again, everybody has their own taste, and if you really want to try it and read it yourself, then here you go. This is how it looks like. Next book I'm going to talk to you guys about is the first did not finish book of 2020. And this doesn't happen really often because I really like to sit down, read the books, and carry on. And even if it's not the best book ever, I still want to know where it ends. But I started to learn to be okay with not finishing a book and find something else that I will really enjoy, just so I don't fall into this mood reading type of way. But this is the first book that I did not finish, and it's called No Name by Wilkie Collins. And the reason why I didn't really finish this book is because I didn't really connect it to the story and the characters in the story as much as I wanted to. I like the cover, and I know that is something that I talked to about other books as well. The cover, that is not really what the book is about. Well, yes, if it has a pretty cover that I really are interested, then I might be tempted to read it. And I like the fact that it's kind of like a painting. It's kind of old style, and I'm a big fan of old style book also. I know it looks a little old, the copy, but it's an old copy and I've been having it for a while, and I decided to read it this 2020, and unfortunately I didn't get to finish it because I didn't connect to the story as much. I will not be giving a rating because it's not fair. I didn't finish it all the way through, so I can't really say how 100% good is it, or is this not as good as I wanted to. But I didn't connect to continue to read it all the way through. Maybe in the future I will pick it up again and decide to finish it, and if I do, I will definitely let you guys know if I really enjoyed it at the end. But this is a book that I started in 2020. The next book, and is the third, kind of, I think it's the third book that I read about mystery, is called Through Buns. This book is a 3.5 star for me because I really love the plot in the book. I really enjoyed it the beginning, enjoyed it the ending so much, even though I was like, but why? But I still enjoyed it the beginning and the ending. However, where it really felt a little short for me was in the middle of the story. Holy guacamole, how long did it take to really solve the mystery? Now, to talk about this book spoil free, I decided to let you guys know about what is kind of about based on what I already read. So obviously it's about a mystery that happens in a town, a detective that is kind of new, and it takes it from there into solving who have done it, you kind of go back and forth into characters because you kind of think it's one character, but all of a sudden you'll be like, but then this person looks suspicious as well. So you kind of don't really know which of the characters you really want to blame, and it's something that keeps you on your toes, and it's something that I really enjoyed it about the plot, the story, and kind of the development of it. What I really first showed, like I said again, is towards the middle. It took a little long for me to kind of figure it out who might have done it, and the clues were there, but they were not 100% there like I would enjoy it in have had enjoyed it in other mystery books. But hey, it's okay. I still give it a 3.5 because God, I love the beginning and the ending, and the character, the main character, she is just so relatable, and I'm really trying not to spoil anything, but it's just good material. But again, the middle is what really felt me a little, but I still enjoyed it very much. The next book I'm going to talk to you about is definitely my favorite book of all times. Teacher reference, The Little Prince. I really enjoyed The Little Prince. Why? Well, here's why. I have read it when I was little and when I was in my teenage years, and now that I'm a little older, I still get something out of it. I just love the fact that you can connect and love the characters so much. I love that it has so much in it. It has moments of sadness, but at the same time, it has moments of joy and pure connection to the story. And holy guacamole, how many things you can really get out of this book. I love the fact that as you get older and you reread it, like I've said, I have read it before, but I read it in 2020 and I felt like I have never read it before because it's got so many new things out of it, and it's something that I really enjoyed it. The fact that you can reread it again and go through the story and still be like, oh my god, that's true. That is really important. That is something that I can share to the world. Honestly, it is my favorite book of 2020, and it's definitely a 5 stars for me because I just enjoyed it so much, and it's such a good and juicy story. Oh my goodness, I can't get enough of it. I really enjoyed The Little Prince so much, and it's also the book that I will be reading to my children's, and hopefully in the future, if I had to recommend a book, it will be The Little Prince. Honestly, I just enjoyed that book so much, and it's a 5 star for me. I cannot really talk to you about this story without spoiling something because it's just a story that you had to read, honestly. But I really enjoyed it, and it's one of my favorites of 2020 and of lifetime favorite. The last book I read in 2020, and it will be the last book in this list, a book of nonfiction, and it's also talking about life and information, and the title is in Spanish, is called El arte de amargarte la vida. In English, it's pretty much the art of making your life miserable, but it's kind of a passage or a mirror to your life. It's kind of like giving you ideas, something that you really do to yourself without you really realizing it. And it's something that while I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, that is true. I have done that to myself, and look what it ended up. That's something that I should avoid from the future. And I just enjoyed the fact that you can get so much out of it. I definitely give it a 5 star. I got this book as a present for my 21st birthday in 2020, and I really enjoyed it, and it was holy guacamole. I enjoyed this story so much. And it's not that you have to follow a character, but it's kind of like a collection of different characters that you can connect to, and the stuff that they do that really connects to your life. And it's something that I really enjoyed it about this book. Definitely a must read for you guys if you really want to get into nonfiction and just kind of learn about life. That is definitely a place to start. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you didn't like it, it's okay. Not everybody has the same taste. But definitely follow me if you want to continue with my contents. And I will see you guys in the next video. I will try to post every Friday. Bye.